Continuing from the previous episode 615. Hearing this, Xiaoyan rolled his eyes helplessly, obviously feeling helpless at old Bamboo's deceit. Okay, you're still sullen. You know that your fighting spirit is the dream of countless people. You don't want to be cheap and still be good. Zhu Lao saw that Xiaoyan was a little discouraged, and immediately scolded with a smile. By the way, Zhu Lao, I have already broken through to the 6-star Do Emperor. Why don't I have any power of life and death in my body? Xiaoyan thought again and decided to tell this secret. After all, since joining the Burning Incense Pavilion, this Zhu Lao has all Xiaoyan was aware of caring about himself, whether it was from the Xuanling Emperor Pond or the Desert Mountain Range. What? As Xiaoyan's voice fell, the old Jew's laughter instantly solidified, replaced by a heavy look. You really don't have any power of life and death in your body? Elder Zhu hesitated in disbelief. As we all know, after the 5-star Do Emperor is consummated, he can break through the 6-star Do Emperor, but the opportunity for this breakthrough is to transcend the calamity. Cross the 6-star Do D tribulation. Once it fails, the strength of the robbers will drop by 1 star in the light, and the root will be damaged in serious cases, and they will fall directly. However, although this 6-star Do D tribulation is a difficulty that has plagued countless Tianzhou, if it is overcome, the strength will undergo a qualitative change. The power of life and death is born in the body. The power of life and death is the barrier to entry for the strong immortals. I've checked it many times, no. Xiaoyan shook his head heavily. Impossible. I've never heard that 6-star Do D has no power of life and death in his body, excluding some extremely special cultivation methods. Zhu Lao said slowly. A special cultivation method? Xiaoyan wondered. The so-called special cultivation method is, for example, some aliens, just relying on the cultivation of physical strength or puppet control, or some power that devours the souls of others. After their strength breaks through the 6-star Do Emperor, the power of life and death will not be born, but these people are equally terrifying. But if there is no power of life and death in the body, the peak in the future will only be the peak of Do D. Xinya 81 Zhang Wian Wang U, Kai 8.1 ZS, Coem, because breaking through the peak of Do D and becoming Do Xian, the power of life and death is essential. Xiaoyan's words echoed in Lao Ju's mind. But I haven't survived the 6-star Fighting Emperor tribulation. Xiaoyan hesitated for a while, but immediately decided to say it. No tribulation? Then how did you break through the 6-star Do D? Zhu Lao heard that. Not only was he slightly angry. Back in the Desert Mountain Range, Senior Madwood Immortal Master gave me Holy Flame, and after I swallowed it, my strength skyrocketed like this. As for the 6-star Do Emperor tribulation, it has never appeared from beginning to end. Xiaoyan said, I have written down this matter for you. When I go back and check the information, I will give you an explanation. Your situation is really strange. Elder Zhu was also at a loss. Obviously, there was nothing in the body of a 6-star fighting emperor like Xiaoyan. The power of life and death is quite helpless. Then Xiaoyan is here to thank Lao Zhu first. Xiaoyan cupped his hands. Don't you think I called you here for this, right? Elder Zhu promised Xiaoyan to turn around and solve the problem that the 6-star Do Emperor had no life and death power in his body, then slowly sat on the chair and said leisurely. I don't know what else it is. Xiaoyan said slowly. Obviously Xiaoyan would not really think that this old man called him here for this matter. I wonder if after you devoured the holy flame, did it have any effect on your soul power? The next moment, Zhu Lao went straight to the topic. The influence of holy flames on the power of the soul? Xiaoyan was confused when he heard the words, but he did not speak. Instead, he closed his eyes and rested, carefully feeling the holy flame crystals suspended in the sea of fighting qi in his body. At this time, Sheng Yanjing was suspended in the Do Qi Sea, and next to Sheng Yanjing, there was a snoring flame beast. After feeling the soul power in the soul realm in the body, it seems that there is no change except that after swallowing the soul liquid to increase the soul power. No, the power of holy flame has no effect on the power of the soul. Xiaoyan wondered why this old Zhu asked him that. No, when old Zhu heard the words, he shook his head and muttered to himself. Old Zhu, don't be a jerk, just tell me. Xiaoyan was very curious when asked by Mr. Zhu. Since the holy flame has no effect on your soul power, then you are looking at the spiritual power in your body. After old Zhu finished speaking, suddenly there were extremely hot fluctuations in his eyes. The core inscription of Ni Gongwan's life? Xiaoyan was stunned for a moment. It was obvious that Xiaoyan had not cared about this spiritual power since he left the Fenxiang pavilion. First, it was the cultivation method of this spiritual power that Xiaoyan still did not know. Secondly, although Xiaoyan has the potential of a battle formation master, his use of mental power is no different from a 3-year-old child. Let's see how your mental strength is, Zhu Lao Zaidu said. Wang Om. The next moment, Xiaoyan's pupils shrank suddenly, his face full of disbelief. Where is the core inscription of Ni Gongwan's life? Xiaoyan was greatly surprised. Don't worry, it seems that your Nigungwen can't hold it anymore, so you can feel your body carefully and take a look. Zhu Lao smiled. How is that possible? The next moment, Xiaoyan saw the core inscription of the divine movement not far from Ni Gongwan. At this time, the core inscription of the divine natal life was slowly rotating, and the periphery was wrapped by Xiaoyan's khaki-yellow holy flame power. It seems that what I expected was not wrong. Although I don't know why, this spiritual power does have some unusual relationship with Shengen. The next moment, Zhu Lao said in a hot voice. What? Xiaoyan was suddenly startled, and then tried to feel the abnormality in his body. Don't link to panic www.novelmtl.com. Let's see first that your mental strength has reached various levels. Just when Xiaoyan was in a hurry, Elder Zhu's voice came. What do you think? Xiaoyan asked aloud. You carefully comprehend the light pattern on the core inscription. 1 circle is level 1, and 10 circles is level 10. The ranks of Dou Formation Masters are divided into White Dou Formation Masters, Yellow Dou Formation Grand Masters, Red Dou Formation Emperor Masters, Black Dou Formation Immortal Masters, and Gold Dou Formation Saint Masters. Each level is divided into 10 patterns. Elder Zhu spoke slowly. Yellow? When Xiaoyan heard the words, he immediately felt the depths of the core inscription in his body according to what Zhu Lao said, but found that as Xiaoyan used his mental power to go to the core inscription actually spread out. A burst of yellow halo. A 6-patterned yellow formation master. When this kid first joined the Fenxiang pavilion, his mental strength just reached the level of condensed text. I never imagined that in just 5 years, he would actually reach the level of a yellow formation master. Even me, this talent is out of reach. Zhu Lao shook his head mockingly. It's not over yet? Wait, how is that possible? It's actually red. As Xiaoyan continued to feel the core inscription in his body, a rare red light suddenly appeared in the entire house. This red light is different from ordinary light. It does not have any power, but it makes people feel a wave of death. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 616. This kid is probably the most outstanding person in my burning incense pavilion for nearly 1,000 years. Zhu Lao looked at the constantly changing yellow light and red light on Xiaoyan's body in front of him, and the corners of his mouth wriggled slightly. Hoo. As the red light on Xiaoyan's body seemed to be short-lived, it disappeared without a trace in a short period of time, and then Xiaoyan's body quickly regained a bright yellow light. Xinya 81 Zhang Wian Wang U. Kai 8.1 ZS. Ko M. He. This kid is not bad. He knows how to put things in and out. Elder Zhu said with admiration. Cough. The next moment, Xiaoyan coughed violently a few times, looking quite embarrassed. When he devoured the holy flame in the desert mountains before, although the power of the holy flame made Xiaoyan Fenju evolve into the immortal rank, and also caused Xiaoyan's strength to skyrocket, at that time, Xiaoyan did not feel the power of the holy flame and the core of the divine destiny. The inscription has any other resonance. Now that Zhu Lao said this, he hurriedly mobilized the power of holy flame in his body to gather towards the core inscription of the divine life. A strange scene appeared. Just as Xiaoyan mobilized the power of holy flame in his body to gather it away, the two seemed to resonate extremely terribly, and then the core inscription of the divine life suddenly became crazy, madly absorbing Xiaoyan's power of holy flame. As the core inscription of Shendong's life absorbed the power of holy flame, a yellow light beam and a short-lived red light appeared around Xiaoyan. Okay, it's alright. Old Zhu's coercive voice slowly echoed in the wooden house. and then Xiaoyan only felt that his weak spiritual sea suddenly trembled, and he lost his mind in an instant. Old Zhu, this is... Xiaoyan slowly withdrew his holy flame power and the core inscription of divine life, and then looked at Zhu Lao curiously. It seems that what I expected was not wrong. The power of this holy flame has a terrifying increase in spiritual power. Just relying on the power of this holy flame, you have reached the level of the great master of the 6-pattern fighting array. This can be said to be one step to the sky, Elder Zhu said slowly, with a rare gratification in his voice. The power of holy flame can actually increase spiritual power? Xiaoyan also heard this for the first time. After all, Sheng Yan is the most terrifying flame power between heaven and earth. How could it increase the spiritual power? This is something Xiaoyan has never heard of. Don't say it's you, even I haven't heard of it. But based on the conclusions I've drawn over the years, it seems to be true. As for the secret, I'm afraid you, the boy with holy flame, will need to discover it yourself in the future. Zhu Lao laughed. By the way, I just found out that there seems to be something unusual in your body. The sea of fighting qi, the sea of soul and the sea of spirit. The 3 seas are one. You have to maintain a good balance between them. Otherwise, an accident will have a huge impact on your future potential. Zhu Lao taught a lesson. Yes. Xiaoyan nodded. He is naturally the existence of these 3 seas, although powerful, but there are also many dangers invisibly. Once the Do Qi Sea suffers irreparable wounds, the spiritual sea and the soul sea will also be affected. By the way, Lao Zhu, what is the great master of Do formation? Xiaoyan was indeed somewhat puzzled by what Lao Zhu had just said. Haha, this is the hierarchy of Do formation masters. The rank system of Do formation masters is divided into the representative color of Do formation grandmaster is white, the representative color of Do formation grandmaster is yellow, the representative color of Do formation emperor master is red, the representative color of Do formation immortal master is black, and the representative color of Do formation master is black. Gold. Each pattern corresponds to relative strength. For example, a 1-pattern fighting formation master is comparable to a 1-star fighting saint. A 1-pattern fighting formation grandmaster corresponds to a 1-star fighting emperor, and so on. The color mentioned here is the color of the inscription condensed from your core inscription. Elder Zhu spoke slowly. So that's the case, Xiaoyan murmured. With the power of that holy flame, he just raised the core inscription of the divine movement, which was only a quarter of the body, to 6-pattern yellow abruptly. This means that Xiaoyan is already a great master of the battle formation at this time. A Do formation master comparable to the 6-star Do emperor. The great masters of the battle formation are divided into small successes and great successes. I see the aura of your core inscription just now. You should now be in the realm of the 6-pattern fighting formation master, the Grand Master, Xiaocheng. Once you set foot in Dacheng, I am afraid that the 8-star fighting emperor can fight for it. However, with your current strength, just relying on Xiaocheng, the great master of the 6-pattern battle formation, and the powerhouse below the completion of the 6-star duty, I'm afraid you should not be afraid. Elder Zhu smiled slowly, and there was a hint of pride in his voice. This is the horror of Do formation masters. At the end of the sentence, Zhu Lao was afraid that Xiaoyan would be puzzled, and hurriedly explained. Old Zhu, although I have reached the level of a great master of Doojun, my spiritual power. Xiaoyan shook his head, because Xiaoyan knew that even though he had reached the level of a great grandmaster of Doojun, he still had no problem with it. I don't know anything about the use of fighting formations and the cultivation of spiritual power. Hee, don't worry, wait for me to tell you slowly. Elder Zhu smiled slowly, and then murmured. The tyrannical strength of a battle formation master depends on your spiritual strength. As we all know, the cultivation of soul power can use some heaven and earth treasures, and even the soul origin left by some great powers, so the cultivation of soul power is relatively easy after all, but the spiritual power is different. I don't know any means to improve my spiritual strength, at least now. Only by constantly refining my spiritual strength can I slowly improve. I'm afraid that the hardships of grinding are far beyond your imagination. Zhu Lao laughed, but there was a rare chill in the voice. Obviously, even old Bamboo couldn't help but be moved when he thought of that scene. Old Zhu, what is the connection between this soul power and spiritual power? Xiaoyan asked. Good question. Soul power is in the main, ready to go, to attack the enemy's soul to cause sluggishness or even instant kill. It is a one-hit kill, but the spiritual power is different. The spiritual power is outside the main, and it is somewhat similar to your Do Qi. You're welcome to say that it can be your second grudge. Just link to imagine www.novelmtl.com. At that time, your mental power will be transformed into a formation to trap the enemy, and when you use the thunder method, I am afraid that the powerful enemy will not be able to withstand it. I am afraid that among the peers, in the invincible hand, because the power of the soul is invisible, but the power of the spirit exists. Zhu Lao said impassively, soul power is inside. Spiritual power is outside. Second, vindictiveness. Xiaoyan kept repeating, obviously digesting the information that Elder Zhu said. Yes, there is no specific level for the cultivation of spiritual power, because the practitioners who master spiritual power are too rare, even in our entire Xuanling continent. I am afraid there are only a few people. However, the strength of your mental strength determines the strength of your battle formation master. Only by continuously improving your spiritual strength will your rank as a battle formation master continue to rise. Once your spiritual strength is developed, the formation in your hand will be a world, and thousands of strong people will be wiped out. Politely, the Do formation master is actually so terrifying. Xiaoyan couldn't help feeling a little hot when old Zhu said it. As for the cultivation method of spiritual power. Next, after old Zhu finished speaking, a round object appeared directly in old Zhu's hand and flew towards Xiaoyan. What is this? Xiaoyan murmured, but he felt an extremely powerful fluctuation from the item. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 617. What is this? Xiaoyan caught the thing thrown from Lao Zhu's hand, and then said slowly. What appeared in front of Xiaoyan's eyes was a small but very strange thing. Just starting, a heart-piercing stinging pain emanated from it, which made Xiaoyan slightly startled. You must know that Xiaoyan is now in the late stage of the 6-star Do Di. With the addition of the power of the strange fire and the power of the holy flame, this thing can actually make Xiaoyan have such fluctuations, which is enough to show the extraordinariness of this thing. Taking a closer look, he saw a palm-sized circular tray in his hand. On the circular tray, there are many mysterious runes. If you count them carefully, it seems that there are as many as 12 runes. This is a spiritual grinder. Elder Zhu said slowly in a calm voice. Spiritual grinding disc? Hearing this, Xiaoyan seemed to have guessed the function of this thing. After all, just after holding it, the core inscription of divine movement in his body exuded a burst of joy. That's right, it's a spiritual grinder. Before you, the only way to cultivate spiritual power was to continuously sharpen the spiritual power through this spiritual grinder to improve the strength of the Do formation master. Another method was to devour the spiritual grinder, but this method is rarely used. After all, the acquisition of this spiritual grinding disc can only be found in some rare ancient ruins. If it is swallowed directly, I am afraid many people will be reluctant to bear it. But you don't know if it's good luck or something else. This holy flame power can actually help your spiritual power progress. Zhu Lao laughed. Hee hee, take good care of this spiritual grinding disc. As for sharpening the spiritual power, you only need to disperse a trace of the power condensed from the core inscription to enter. Remember, don't devour this spiritual grinding disc unless it is absolutely necessary. After all, there are only a few of these things in the entire Xuanling continent. If one disappears, there will be no more. Old Zhu said. Disciple takes orders. Xiaoyan put away the spiritual grinding wheel, and then bowed to Elder Zhu. As a discerning person, Xiaoyan naturally knew how much he cherished this spiritual grinding wheel. Your strength seems a bit terrifying. After doing all this, Old Zhu stared at Xiaoyan slightly. The late 6-star Do Di. Xiaoyan didn't try to hide it, he said directly. In the later stage of the 6-star Do Di, this time the team competition must come first. Take Lao said plainly. No problem. Xiaoyan naturally agreed with confidence. It's all right, hurry up, kid, don't disturb me from sleeping in. Zhu Lao hurriedly said. Disciple retire. Xiaoyan smiled slowly, then walked outside the wooden house and gently closed the door. By the way, there seems to be someone in the ground hall who needs to refine the 2nd-grade Emperor rank medicinal pill. You can go and have a look. Xiao Yan just walked a few steps when old Ju's voice came from behind him. Is it a medicinal pill of the second rank of the Emperor? It just so happens that I haven't made a medicinal pill for a long time. There are still 5 days until the team competition. Tomorrow, Mu Yingying's calamity may be over. Let's wait and see the day after tomorrow. Xiao Yan smiled and then disappeared. I don't know why, but I have a hunch that this kid seems to be more terrifying than that person at the beginning. And it seems that the moving sky ruler will also emit its own brilliance. Zhu Lao slowly stared at the disappearing Xiao Yan and said, In the Hall of Earth, the residence of the 5 senior brothers. Is Senior Brother 5 awake? A silver bell-like voice sounded outside the door. Second miss, you can't enter, the 5th senior brother is still recovering, and no one is seen except the hall master. The 2 outside the door looked at the little witch in front of them with fear. Don't you know who I am? Ling Zan let out a slight breath in her breath, a little unhappy. Let her in. Wang Chen's voice sounded from the door. When the 2 guards heard the words, they didn't speak for a while. Senior Brother 5th, are you all right? Ling Zan quickly entered the room and spoke directly. Don't worry, your 5th senior brother is fine. Wang Chen was not surprised when he saw the little witch coming again. Senior Brother number 5, you weren't fighting against Xiao Yi at that time, how could you suddenly? Seeing that Wang Chen's injury had improved a lot, Ling Zan hesitated for a moment. Do not know. I'm afraid this Xiao Yan is not as simple as it seems on the surface. This person's breath, even if it was the last blow to me, I can feel that I didn't use all my strength. I estimate that this person's strength is at least the same as you and me, or even stronger. Wang Chen said, how could it be possible? Ling Zan immediately said incredulously when she heard the words. Nothing is impossible, this person is very strong. Wang Chen said without any smile. I'm going to find my father. Ling Zan heard the words, and immediately left here without stopping. He, but I haven't seen this little witch in such a long time. Wang Chen smiled. Mont, how are the other senior brothers now? Wang Chen's injuries were not too serious. After all, Xiao Yan was also trying to shock others, so he didn't kill him. As soon as Wang Chen's voice fell, a person outside the door slowly entered, and then said, Senior Brother Wei Wu, in the past few days, Brother 4th has been practicing in seclusion. The 3rd senior brother seems to have failed in refining the 2nd-grade Emperor-level medicinal pills, which stumped him. He's been very busy recently. As for the 2nd senior brother, he has always come and gone without a trace. Not to mention Senior Brother. Monty said, Go ahead, the team competition will start in a few days. Wang Chen said slowly, By the way, 5th senior brother, everyone in the Heavenly Palace seems to have withdrawn from this team competition. Monty hesitated for a while, then spoke up. Oh, is there another mission to send the 7 of them out? The 7 people from the Heavenly Palace go out at the same time. This task is a bit big. Wang Chen murmured, Dad, you must give me an explanation this time. In a certain room in the underground hall, Ling Zan said unreasonably to a middle-aged man in front of her. Whoops, my little princess, who provokes you this time? The middle-aged man smiled slowly, raised a delicate jade cup in his hand, and then said to Ling Xuan in front of him. I don't care, I want you to give me an explanation. Ling Zan said, What the asterisk is going on? The middle-aged man asked. There was a person in the Hall of People who broke into the Burning Heaven territory without authorization. We wanted to invite him to our hall to explain a thing or two, but we never thought that this person was arrogant and unreasonable, so we couldn't help pushing Yi Qing back and wounding the 5th senior brother. Dad, you said that this person is not hateful. You must show him some color. Ling Zan said eagerly, Hey, it turned out to be someone bullied. The middle-aged man smiled, linked to slowly www.novelmtl.com, and said with a smile in his heart. I remember that among the disciples in the Hall of People, who are still in the Burning Incense Pavilion, there seems to be no powerhouse above the 6-star Do Di. How could Wang Chen be injured? The middle-aged man analyzed. I don't know what trick that kid was using. At the competition venue, senior brother Wang Chen passed out without taking a move from him. Ling Zan said, One move? Ling Zan's voice just fell, and there was some hesitation in the middle-aged man's tone. What's the name of the disciple in that temple? The middle-aged man asked. Xiao Yan, Ling Zan said lightly, with a bit of resentment in her voice. As Ling Zan's words just finished, the jade cup in the middle-aged man's hand shattered instantly. Don't worry about this matter, be obedient. This Xiao Yan is the person designated by the Heavenly Palace and Human Palace to protect. The middle-aged man spoke slowly. How could it be possible? Ling Zan was slightly surprised when she heard the words, because it was rare to see Daddy so moved. Xinya 81 Zhang Wei and Wang U, Kai 8, approximately 1 ZS, Co-M. Let's not say anything else, it's just because this kid is a second-rank emperor-rank pharmacist. Ling Zan was immediately surprised when the middle-aged man finished speaking. Xiao Yan is actually a second-grade imperial pharmacist? After Ling Xuan finished speaking, she suddenly felt that her head was empty. Okay, go down obediently and prepare for the team competition. Daddy has something to do. The middle-aged man said, as if he had made up his mind. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 618. At the same time, in a place far away from the burning incense pavilion, some unknown secrets are being staged. 3 Hall Masters, the Ghost World's actions have been extremely uneven recently. Just the place where the exit seal of the Ghost World was discovered by our Purgatory Tang brothers has appeared in 3 places. The seals in these 3 places have been weakened a lot. Even the many brothers and sisters who have our Purgatory Tang have been escaped into Xuanling by many ghosts. On a wide dark ridge, a man dressed in black, the wrapped figure faced a humane with a rainbow of breath in front of him. The man in black has a restrained breath, like a stalker who hides his whereabouts. As for the man with a strong breath, he was also wrapped in dark clothes, but the murderous aura between his brows was extraordinarily dignified. People on the brink of life and death. What? The man was slightly angry. Due to the particularity of their sect, their Purgatory Tang was incompatible with these ghosts in the Ghost World. Now the seals on the 3 exits have weakened, and the ghosts ran into Xuanling. This is their Purgatory Tang's mistake. If a powerful ghost sneaks in, then I am afraid it will bring about a disaster. Xinya 81 Zhang Wei and Wang U, Kai 8.1 ZS, Co-M. Have you found any powerful ghosts? The man said sharply. Not for now. Most of the ghosts that have entered Xuanling are only small ones. The man in black said respectfully. Is that so? This ghost world has subsided for so many years, is it still time to start action? The 3rd Hall Master man slowly opened his mouth and looked into the distance. Did you send someone out to suppress the 3 exit seals? Otherwise, once the seal on the exit is loosened, it will be a disaster for the entire Xuanling. The 3 Hall Masters spoke slowly, and the vicious aura on his body was very dignified. 3 seals at the exit of the Ghost World, 2 of which have mobilized most of our Purgatory Tang brothers to guard them. As long as there are no ghosts above 8 stars, there will be basically no problem. The man in black said respectfully. Then is there another exit? The 3rd Hall Master asked questioningly. Where is the closest to the Fenxiang Pavilion? I have informed the old and young. Qing Lao himself sent their 7-person team from the Heavenly Palace, and there will be no problem in thinking. Hai said, the 7 people in the Heavenly Palace. I saw each other every 10 years before, and their overall strength has the power to fight against the 8-star Do Emperor. Now, I'm afraid it will be even more terrifying. The 3rd Hall Master said to himself. Okay, got it. You go down. Remember to always be vigilant about the seal of the exit of the Ghost World, and if there is any problem, report it as soon as possible. The 3rd Hall Master said slowly. Yes. After the man in black finished speaking, he turned into a black smoke and disappeared instantly. Due to the particularity of the sect, these people in Purgatory Tang have to live in darkness, but only in this way can they quietly approach the slaughter of ghosts, and some ghosts have no heart to resist, so they will be kept by the people of Purgatory Tang. Kill. I didn't expect the Ghost World to make a comeback so soon. Didn't they learn from the *** lesson last time? The 3rd Hall Master spoke slowly. It always feels like something big is about to happen. No, the 2nd Hall Master is not here, and the Chief Hall Master went to the Ghost World to go undercover again. Life and death are uncertain. When I am in Purgatory, I am afraid that I will have to borrow some strength from other sects to quell this catastrophe. The 3rd Hall Master has I plan to disappear into this dark mountain range immediately. Susu, Purgatory Tang San Tang Master is fortunate enough to come here today, which is really surprising. The next moment, when the 3rd Master appeared, he had already arrived at a heavily guarded place in his Purgatory Tang base camp. Here, Countless dark chains with a cold glow tightly lock a mass of black air. That voice was emanating from the black air. Ghost Emperor, do you have any plans in the ghost world? Are you planning to invade our Zon Santian? The third hall master slowly paced to the side of the black chi, isolated by that special chain. The black chi was already a dying thing at this time. Haha, I never thought that the third hall master of your dignified purgatory Tang would have doubts on this day. Ha ha ha, but what I want to do in the ghost world is not something you can imagine. When the army of my ghost world arrives, it will be the day when your entire Xuanling Santian will be destroyed. He said savagely, and the eerie ghosts around him continued to emerge, but just as the ghosts appeared, they were killed by that the chain that runs through the black gas is absorbed in an instant. Humph, no matter how many ghosts come, none of us in Purgatory Tang will let go. The third hall master said coldly, and disappeared immediately after speaking. Susu, I can't think of a few Guishen adults who have advanced their plans. According to this situation, I am afraid that within 10 years, Zon Sansan will completely fall into the territory of my ghost world. When the time comes, you filthy human beings will not die. The ghost said gloomily and mournfully, but only endless echoes responded to it. How are things going? In a secret room in Xuanling City, outside the royal family of Xuanling, an enchanting woman said, My lord, 3 of the 9 seals of Xuanling have been opened. If you think about it in a few years, you will be able to open it completely. When the time comes, my ghost world army. The woman is the original Blood Rose. What did the Lord Ghost Immortals say? Xiaocheng cast a glance at the man and then said, Master Ji Guishen is quite satisfied with what you have done, but they want to plan ahead, so. The man whispered, Go back and tell them that they have waited for thousands of years, not too short of time. If the plan fails due to eagerness, they will know the consequences. Bloodrose said coldly, Also, after telling them to get ready, they can take action after the Xuanling 3-day sect competition starts. That will be our best chance. It's just that the man in front of Blood Rose lowered his head directly, because he knew that Blood Rose's terrifying thing was this strange link to smile www.novelmtl.com/let's go back. Blood Rose said coldly, Yes. Hearing the words, the man took out a scroll full of black and strange aura, then squeezed it lightly, and disappeared instantly. Haha, Zon Sansan, you will be mine after playing for a long time. Xiaocheng said with a smile. Miss, someone is asking to see you. Blood Rose just sent the man from the ghost world away when a voice came from outside the room. I'm already asleep, no see. Xiaocheng said coldly. It is now in the evening, and there are still many things to prepare and arrange. At this point in time, where does Blood Rose have time to see others? This person is the prince of the Xuanling royal family. The maid outside the room said with some fear, This prince of the Xuanling royal family, a little maid of hers, can't afford to provoke her. Prince of the Xuanling royal family? Just when Blood Rose was about to leave, she suddenly muttered to herself. The Xuanling royal family's trip to the desert of death this time has been a heavy loss. Why are they looking for me at this time? The corner of Xiaocheng's mouth raised slightly. After a brief thought to no avail, Xiaocheng tidied up her clothes, just to reveal some enchanting places, and then walked out. Miss Blood Rose, long time no see. Blood Rose just appeared, and immediately above the pavilion a few steps away from the room, the handsome young man slowly stood up and smiled. Ask for tickets. 3 shifts today, 3 more tomorrow. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 619. It's actually Xuanmu? Xiaocheng just pushed the room away and suddenly saw Xuanmu appear in her residence. She was a little surprised. As we all know, King Xuanling has many descendants, but the only outstanding ones are the eldest Prince Zon Ce, the second Prince Zon Wu, the third Prince Zon Mu, and the fourth Prince Zon Shan. Although the eldest Prince Zon Ce is very low-key and has no secrets at all, but the Blood Rose is out of a woman's intuition, and feels that the eldest prince is not simple. As for the second prince, Xuanwu, he was a martial idiot who was obsessed with cultivation all day long, and was indifferent to the struggles in the Xuanling royal family. As for the fourth prince, he has a free and easy nature and loves to go out to practice. I don't know why he was accepted as a disciple by the deputy head of the Wolf Eagle Legion, one of the 3 major legions of the Xuanling royal family, and he rarely intervenes in the court affairs. As for the third prince, Xuanmu, according to legend, this person is very scheming, and the relationship in the imperial court is also very large, but King Xuanling has never established the throne of the prince, and these three princes have no choice but to stand still. Miss Bloodrose is indeed naturally beautiful, and she truly lives up to her reputation when she sees it today. Xuanmu smiled slowly, and then walked towards Bloodrose. As for Xuanmu, a muscular man stared viciously around him, obviously to protect Xuanmu. To be able to make a 7-star Do-D strong follow him with him, the power behind this mysterious wood will probably only be bigger than that on the bright side. Xiaocheng secretly said in her heart, "What kind of wind brought the third prince to me?" Bloodrose also twisted the waist of the water snake and walked slowly. Although she sensed that this mysterious wood visitor was not good, her Bloodrose was not an unknown person either. There's something wrong with this person. Just as Bloodrose was 3 meters away from Xuanmu, the muscular man suddenly tightened his eyes and said, "I don't know why, but the muscular man actually smelled a very strange aura from Bloodrose." "Retreat," Xuanmu shouted when he heard the words, with unbelievable pressure in his voice. He, why did the third prince come today?" Seeing this, Xiaocheng opened her mouth slightly, facing the muscular man. She was not afraid. "I came today, firstly to witness the beauty of Miss Bloodrose, and secondly because of a secret that has been bothering me for a long time." Zan Muyu said earnestly, "I'm not interested in knowing any secrets," but the little girl wrong asked. "The third prince knows to bring someone into someone else's mansion privately, but—" Bloodrose said casually, but the vigilance in her words was even more obvious. "Shu wants to talk nonsense," the muscular man hurriedly said, trying to take the woman down. "Miss Bloodrose is right, but I think as long as I show enough sincerity, I am afraid that Miss Bloodrose will not refuse." When the muscular man was about to start, Zan Mu directly stopped him and looked at Bloodrose. "Road. Even Xuanling's scheming can smell an extremely dangerous fluctuation from this Bloodrose. Obviously, it is not because of her beautiful appearance that she can become the chief in this huge Xuanling royal family and Xuanling city auction. Then what if I say no?" Seeing that the muscular man had been targeting her, Xiaocheng spoke slightly with a bit of anger. "Woman, don't be ignorant," the muscular man who protected Xuanmu shouted, and the maid next to him hurriedly trembled with fright. "Why don't we look at the sincerity first?" Xuanmu said with a smile. "Go down." Xiaocheng's eyes moved slightly, she thought for a while, and directly greeted all the maids beside her. "What can you say now?" Bloodrose knew the strength of this muscular man and Xuanmu. If it wasn't for the Ghost World's plan, I'm afraid that at this time, Bloodrose would have killed the two of them directly. Since there are no outsiders here, then I'll get straight to the point. Nowadays, the Xuanling royal family is worried about foreign troubles. My father has been missing for nearly 5 years. My uncle Qin Tian and the national teacher Wen Zi are responsible for everything in the court, but a country can't be without an owner for a day, so... Xuanmu spoke slowly, and then the exquisite collection ring in his hand wriggled slightly, and a box of quite high-quality jade slowly appeared in his hand. Haha, Cheng Wei is just a girl, never intervening in the affairs of the court, and opening an auction is just to make a living. If the third prince is for this matter, please go back. Bloodrose didn't have any interest in raising interest in the box in Xuanmu's hand, and abruptly refused. Miss Cheng Wei, don't be in such a hurry to refuse. I believe that you will definitely change your mind when you see this thing in my hand. A confident look appeared at the corner of Xuanmu's mouth, and then he smiled. I'm not interested. Xiaocheng shook her head, then walked around without looking back. But Xiaocheng knew that everything that the Xuanling Emperor is currently doing is suppressed by Qin Tian and presided over by Wen Zi, so these princes are also eager. Once they become the masters of a country, their status will rise. Prince, this woman is too arrogant. Do you need me? The muscular man next to Zan Mu said in a low voice. You don't need to intervene, just watch. Xuanmu heard the words, and immediately opened the jade box on the palm of his hand. Pimple. With a sound, the jade box was slowly opened by Xuanmu, and then a fragrant scent slowly emanated from it. This is Xuanling Emperor Pond liquid? The next moment, the blood rose, who had not gone far, suddenly turned around, and then stared at the things on the jade box in Xuanmu's hand in amazement. At this time, the palm of Xuanmu slowly lifted up, and the golden liquid in the jade box was flowing slowly. Although there were only a few small drops, with the shrewdness of Blood Rose, he could feel the huge essence from the small golden water droplets. Pure energy. It seems that Miss Blood Rose recognizes this thing. Seeing this, Xuanmu couldn't help but smile. If it weren't for this Blood Rose representing the entire Xuanling royal family and the auction houses of all sizes in Xuanling City, Xuanmu would definitely not put that this thing was taken out. After all, this thing is extremely precious, and it can cultivate a lot of geniuses for a force. I didn't expect such a precious Xuanling Emperor Pond liquid. With such a degree of purity, I am afraid that this thing alone has a nearly 70% confidence in transcending the 6-star Do-D tribulation. Blood Rose slowly opened her mouth. Obviously, she, the chief auctioneer, has a knack for identifying treasures. How? If Miss Blood Rose thinks it's linked to www.novelmtl.com, this thing is yours. Xuanmu asked tentatively, and just after asking, the box in his hand suddenly closed. I promise you, I will help you at the critical moment. After all, we have a special status in the auction, so. Blood Rose paused for a while, and stared at the jade box on the mysterious wooden body with a fiery aura in her eyes. Deal! Seeing this, Xuanmu couldn't help but be overjoyed. Xuanmu didn't expect the auction to do its best to help him. As long as he could help him at a critical time, it would be enough. Hee. Then I wish us a happy cooperation. I have to leave beforehand. Xuanmu finished speaking, and left with the muscular man. As for the jade box in his hand, he stayed on the stone table above the pavilion. Watching the two of Xuanmu go further and further, Blood Rose murmured and walked over to pick up the jade box, without a trace of fluctuation in her eyes. If it wasn't for waiting for that plan, you would think that you are a mere Xuanling Emperor Pond liquid. Can you seduce me? Xinya 81 Zhang Wian Wang U, Kai 8, approximately 1 ZS, Koam. After speaking, a dark red rune slowly beats at the place of the Blood Rose jade strength. That rune looked rather sinister and gloomy, as if suppressing the power of the Blood Rose. It was extremely enchanting. Come on, let me go down and check the current situation of the Xuanmu and Xuanling royal family. After Blood Rose finished speaking, the surrounding space started to squirm, and then closed. Next, just wait and watch the show. After Blood Rose finished speaking, she went straight to her own business. Ask for tickets. End of this chapter.